All right, all right, all right. Welcome to a new game for the channel. This game is called Interrogation, and it says that we're gonna be deceived. After reading the description, it seems like we're gonna be like maybe a police officer or detective, and we're gonna be interrogating people to find out, to try to find confessions. And there's a lot of different things we could do to potentially find these confessions and how to maybe force these confessions out of the suspects. So, but first, we need to figure out how we want to play it. Do we want to play it as a visual novel, explore the story? Key decisions on ethics, approach, and management will remain in your hands, while the conversation gameplay is replaced by guided, sequential dialogue. Or should we go into detective mode? Moderately difficult conversational gameplay with detective thoughts as tips and an increased campaign budget. Expect some uncanny confessions. Interesting. Or do we go with interrogation challenge, demanding controversial gameplay? You will need to try interrogations multiple times and may need to rewind the campaign. So, if that's the case, I don't really want to have to try these multiple times, at least not during a live stream. Maybe we'll do that during like a video if we need to see different outcomes of different interrogations. So I guess the question I have for each and every one of you is, which game mode should we choose between visual novel and detective mode? I put up a poll real quick for you guys, so you guys can vote on that poll whether we want to do visual novel or detective mode. It seems like each one of these is probably like a difficulty level. You got easy, medium, and challenging, right? So, depending on what we pick, it might change the outcome of our game. Looks like most of you guys are saying detective mode, which is fine. I'm sure the Jam Genius can figure it out. I just want to say hello to everyone. Emma, Peachy Pup, Thanucia, Courtney, Allie, Joe. Welcome to the stream. YouTube family fan, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. This was actually this game was suggested by one of you guys. I can't remember exactly the name. I apologize. I don't remember exactly who suggested it, but that person suggested it, and I checked it out, and the description sounded really cool, so I figured we'd play it together. Looks like we're going detective mode. All right, detective mode it is. Courtney, happy birthday, Courtney! Oh my goodness, can't believe it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Courtney. All right, welcome. This will be the first drill session of the investigation, interview, and interrogation techniques course. Okay, so they're going to kind of show us how to do it all. Perfect. Thanks anyway. Let's go ahead and move this guy right down here. We'll be bringing in a subject. They're a trained actor, but you should be fully in character for the duration of the interview. I'm considering invisible and inaudible by the actor, but I'll be guiding you along. Okay, so he's going to be our guide. He's going to be our helper. Before any interrogation, the first thing to do is to consult the subject's files. This should give you a vital insight into the case, helping you to identify what information or confession needs to be extracted. So let's go ahead and click on the file, see who this character is. That's a bicycle. We're interrogating a bicycle? Let's see what's going on. It's Police Department Form 300. Supervisor, yada yada, and Lucas Anderson's the supervisor. There's no victim name, no location. The incident, okay, so it's a bicycle theft. Okay, So we're investigating a theft of a bicycle. Douglas Bird is played by an actor. As per the instructor's directions, treat the actor the same as you would treat a real subject. Mr. Bird, despite coming from a well-off parents, has taken to bike theft. We have plenty of circumstantial evidence because none of it is direct. However, we need to leverage all the leads in order to get a full confession. So apparently, Douglas Bird is being played by an actor. So Douglas Bird is the bicycle thief, and we already know he's a bicycle thief, even though we don't have hardcore evidence. So we're just trying to get a confession out of this guy. But it's definitely a bicycle thief. Oh, here he is. This is Douglas Bird right here. Dark brown hair color. Blue eyes. 26, Douglas Bird. He's our main suspect for several bicycle thefts at the local university campus. Several eyewitnesses confirmed he is descriptive. We also have him on CCTV footage showing a masked figure watching the subject's description, jumping on an unsupervised bicycle and riding off fast. He is currently listed as unemployed, living in a rented apartment paid by his parents. His criminal record is clean, but he is known to be with friends with several narcotic abusers. Oh. As well as a roommate who is subjected to marijuana dealing. Alright. So he's doing all this kind of stuff. Stealing bicycles. We gotta get a confession out of him. How far will we go getting that confession out of this guy? What are we willing to do? When you're done checking the files, you can bring the subject. Be careful though, now is not the case. But when it will be a time but when it will be a time sensitive situation, this is when the clock starts ticking. Oh, okay, so in this scenario, it's not time sensitive, but there could be time sensitive cases that we need to look into. Interesting. Jaziel, welcome. No, this is not a PC game. This is actually on a mobile device. Jaziel. Michelle, welcome. Hello, Michelle. Let's go ahead and bring in Douglas Bird. See what he has to do. So why do you steal bicycles, Douglas? So first things first, let's try and straight up ask him. You can check the accusation questions every now and then, get a sense of whether you're close to a confession. So let's go ahead and do the accusation. Let's talk about your writing a confession. We both know you did it. Come on. We both know you did it, Douglas. We don't know nothing. I'm not signing nothing. Nah. Too early for that. Let's keep working on him. So why did you steal the bicycle? I ain't steal no bikes. Broseph. Right, so that surprisingly didn't work. We need to get the subject in the right state of mind to give us an answer. Okay. So how do we do that? This jam music is messing me all up. Oh, the army music and drums and everything. So how do we do that? We have the following tools which we can use to see what state the subject is in. This shows us how open the subject is by looking at pupil dilation corroborated with a few other signals. The wider the pupils are, the more open the subject is. Okay, so that's this pupil dilation meter. This meter tells us how scared the subject is by measuring pulse as well as other bodily symptoms. The quicker the heart rate, the more scared the subject is. So I'm guessing maybe that meter right there is at a normal heart rate. That's just a normal paced heart rate. There's no fear or anything. Now you can influence these meters in all sorts of ways, from building a personal connection to exploiting their background, from cornering them in contradictions to roughing them up. Oh, we can rough them up. Oh, that's how we get the confessions. We rough them up, rough every one of them up, just force the confession out of them. Let's try to build a connection first. Be careful, some questions will alienate the subject instead of bringing them closer. Other questions will seem disingenuous if they're approached too suddenly. You'll probably want to start off as soft as possible. So these are the questions that we can pick from. It says in your files your folks are loaded. What's the matter? They cut you off. It says in your file your folks are loaded. You steal for fun? Hey, living's expensive, I know. I used to crack payphones when I was a teen. I can't believe they have me chasing bikes. Why can't people just lock them up properly? So we don't want to insult them too quickly, and we don't want to try to, I guess, I don't know what the word is. We don't want to like make it seem like we're buddy with them too quick. But let's make it seem like, you know, we're not like we don't even want to be here. We don't even want to. We're looking into a bike thief. We have much more important things to do. So can't believe they have me chasing bikes. Why can't people just lock them up properly? That's all they have to do. Just lock up the proper. It's fucking stupid, man. Waste of taxpayer money and all that. I know. That's exactly what it is. Okay, good. You seem more authentic. Now get closer to the subject. Oh, so his pupils got a little bit bigger, dilated a little bit. So we're starting to get a connection with Douglas Bird here. Let's go ahead and insult him. Let's ask him if the parents cut him off from the money. Parents are loaded. Parents cut you off? Ain't none of your business. I don't think you like that very much. That just alienated him. Might be useful to intimidate, but now we're trying to build empathy. Okay, so if we're trying to build empathy, let's see if we can work with him. So living's expensive. I know. I used to crack payphones when I was a teen. Word, that's thug. That's thug. Cracking payphones. So the pupils definitely dilated a lot there. Our meter's actually blinking now. Okay, we have them opening up. That is why the meter shows a wider circle than in the beginning. Right. Cutting him off sounds painful. Now let's see how we could try to scare him. You want to intimidate, but don't jump to big threats right off the bat. So we want to intimidate him, but not jump off the big threats like all of a sudden. Interesting. Don't be afraid to ask questions more than once. Asking again with the subject in a different state or with the new information on the table can yield results or new results. Interesting. If we don't have a deal and you're found guilty, it's absolutely prison time, but I can only give you a deal if you plead guilty. Did the drugs make you do it? You know how many months you'll do for bike theft? I feel like you wouldn't do very many months for bike theft regardless. Hey, you're tough. You'll do fine in prison, I'm sure. You won't become anybody's boyfriend in prison. So we want to scare him, but not too much. So let's try to work with him. Like, look, if you just make a deal with us now, we can work on something. If you just work with us. I don't need no deal, pig. I'm innocent. This isn't scaring him. He doesn't feel it could happen. Interesting. So what else do we do? Let's ask him if the drugs made him do it. I'm clean, yo. Clearly not. He doesn't seem scared by that. He might actually be clean. He might actually be. Might be. You know what, Douglas, you're a tough guy. You'll probably do fine in prison. I'd be just fine, yo. Alright. He's not buying it yet. Make him feel this is a real possibility, then ask him that again. Do you know how many months they'll make you do in prison for bicycle theft? I ain't worried about that. So there's no signs of fear. We're on to something. So yeah, he's not scared about anything. So do we just like... Let's talk about you're writing a confession. We both know you did it. Let's ask him that again. No, not doing nothing. We're getting closer, but let's keep working on him. So we just need to keep asking him the same questions over and over again. Look, we don't make a deal. Not gonna make a deal. Make a damn deal. I don't know what we're supposed to pick. He's not worried about anything. Oh, we just asked him that. I don't even know what we asked him again. You're tough. You'll be fine in prison. You don't do time for snatching bikes, do you? My dad works for a senator. I'll be fine. I don't know about that. Sometimes the talks reveal new information that can further pursue. Oh, you think the senator will risk his career? Oh, you think the senator's gonna risk his career for the sake of a little bike snatching kid, huh? Probably not. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. Now let's put him in a good place to negotiate. Yes, let's do it. Let's talk about you writing confession then. No? You know, if you don't though, if you don't write a confession, if you don't make a deal with me, you're not going to be able to, you're going to be in prison. You're going to be in jam prison the whole time if you don't make a deal. We need to make a deal right now. What deal would be like? We got him. As you can see, this pulse is, oh, okay, yeah, his pulse is starting to pick up a little bit. It's much faster now. Good. Okay. Now this is off the record, but I want you to know your options. Ooh. At any time, you can stop the recording tracking your questions. Okay. So this is off the record. Interesting. This will make people suspicious. The public will ask what happened when the recording was stopped. You'll be accused, but ultimately it's your word against theirs. In a pinch, though, it's something to consider. Oh, is this where we start to rough them up a little bit? You have means of enhanced interrogation that can be a subject, or that can get a subject scared faster. Interesting. We're gonna rough them up, get them to confess after a little beat down. Try a couple out. The actor will just pretend to be hurt. Okay, don't have to worry about him. What's in the drawer? Okay. Oh, we just tasered the shit out of them. They yell out in pain, insisting that they're innocent. And there's a wall over here with a crack in it. Let's go ahead and throw them up against the wall. There you go. Doing this closes them off, but yeah, definitely his pupils went down. But as you can see, now they're terrified. Beware that if you continue roughing them up, they might pass out. Start the recording again when you're done. Let's go ahead and start that recording back up. Sometimes you'll be interrogating against the clock. When that's the case, keep your eyes on the timer. Interesting. Sometimes you'll be interrogating more than one person. Switch between rooms, and you'll be sure to cross-reference the info they give you. Okay. Anyway, you'll get to keep your manual after you finish the academy. It's great for a refresher, refreshing your memory about what you learned today. Interesting. Now to wrap things up, we're ready to get a confession with this accusation question. So let's talk about you writing a confession. He's still not doing it. We've almost got him. We just have to press him the right way. There are ways in which you press an open subject and other ways in which you press a terrified subject like this. So look, you'll be fine. We'll help you compensate the victims, make things right, ready to sign a confession. Listen, you lowlife. Listen, you lowlife, sign this damn confession right now, and maybe we can keep your dumbass out of jail. Okay. All right, I'll sign it. So we got him to sign a confession. There we go. We did it. Douglas Byrd signed a confession that he stole the jam bicycles. Mission complete. Years later. I need you to come in on a case. Fisher's brought in a set of guys. They are in the interrogation room. Mordecai, hey. We have the Vic's husband. Oh, the victim. Vic means victim, and just so you guys know, it's not the name. So we have the Vic's husband, the only witness, and the robber that broke in. We need your questioning magic in there, a confession, because all we have is circumstantial. You in? Of course. Let's do it. Yes, sir. So the story is that Cox broke in armed with a low caliber piece, holding this Peterson up and then tying him to a chair. Wife comes in, jumps for the phone. Cox drops her with 2 shots to the back before bolting. We have the gun, no prints. Miss Peterson was as cool as a cucumber. His wife's body was just lying there in the other room. He was cool as a cucumber and his wife just got murdered. That doesn't seem right. All of a sudden, just all of immediately that's suspicious. Managed to track down and also grab Cox. Street contacts helped. But we still don't have a clear picture of the murder. Check out the files, grill them, cross-examination, get a confession, you have this. All right? Easy. Easy. Oh, here's the pictures of the... Oh, poor woman. 2 shots to the back. The victim was Heather Peterson. Incident was burglary, breaking and entering, homicide. Heather Peterson was murdered in her living room in front of her husband, Daryl Peterson. He was found tied down in a chair in the same room. He claims a burglar broke in and, armed with a low-caliber handgun, threatened him, tied him up, and subsequently shot Mrs. Peterson as she tried to use her cell phone. Using the description provided and a tip from the local pawn shop, we managed to track down the burglar, one Jerry Munch Cox, and apprehended him. The gun was found outside the building near the fire escape the thief used to enter and use the premises. The evidence of the burglary is clear, but we still don't have a full picture of the murder, which Munch strongly denies committing. What complicates things is Mr. Daryl Peterson's attitude. The first detective on the scene described him as disturbingly serene, like he was completely content. He had no emotions at all, like he was just perfectly fine with exactly what happened. Our best hope of closing the case fast and clean is an admission of guilt. Munch and Peterson have both been held for questioning. You have been tasked with extracting a confession. So this looks like Munch, maybe. Yeah, Jerry Cox. Munch. Jerry Cox, alias Munch, has been identified as a burglar who broke into Peterson's apartment the night of the murder. His criminal record is quite colorful and it includes car theft, pickpocketing, burglary, and credit card fraud. High school dropout with no current employment, Munch is well known to the local police as a troublemaker. He is the main suspect and has been directly accused of tying down the people and shooting the wife, possibly impulsively under stress when she reached for her phone. While circumstantial evidence of the husband's testimony points to Munch as the murderer, it is not sufficient for conviction. He does not have a past record of violent crime of any sort. Munch has previously taken plea bargains and can perhaps be pressured into doing so again. So that's the thing that I'm kind of wondering about as well. If it was Jerry Cox, right? If it was Munch that did it, I mean, that would be the first time in his criminal history that he did something aggressive, right? That he did something like that created some type of pain. It doesn't seem like he does anything that could potentially hurt a person physically until now, like pickpocketing, car theft, burglary, credit card fraud, nothing aggravated, nothing violent, right? This would be the first time. So this is Daryl Peterson. This is the husband. Okay. Daryl Peterson is the husband of the victim. Although we usually avoid involving the family members of the recent deceased in an investigation, he is the sole witness of the murder and has, as such, a key asset. He has voluntarily agreed to be interviewed. Peterson's reports so far have been accurate and led to the arrest of the burglar and main suspect of the murder, Jerry Munch Cox. However, the police officers of the first unit at the scene reported Peterson displaying unusual calm and composure. This is a suspicious degree of detachment for someone emerging from such a traumatic and stressful situation. This raises some concerns, yet Peterson has a clean record, and there is no evidence that points to any wrongdoing on his part. Right. So that in itself is like a huge red flag. Why Daryl just displayed no emotion. No, He wasn't upset about anything that just happened. Let's go ahead and bring him in. All right, so we have Jerry here, then we have Daryl here between the two. Doesn't look like it's a timed event, so that's good. So, who should we talk to first, Daryl or Jerry? Let's talk to Jerry first. He's the burglar, so let's talk to him. Let's see if we can get a quick confession out of Jerry. I think that'll be a good idea. That'd be good place to start. But what do we ask him? Let's talk about yourself, Mr. Cox. Let's talk about the burglary. Let's talk about the murder of Mrs. Peterson. Actually, let me get this sound turned on. Music if I can. Yeah, get the music turned off. It's bugging me. All right, there we go. Still got the sound effects on, but we got the music turned down. It's gonna help. It's gonna help, I promise. So let's talk about let's talk about yourself, Mr. Cox. Let's talk about the burglary. Let's talk about the murder of Mrs. Peterson. And Jerry, be honest with me. Who killed Mrs. Peterson? You know what? Let's just go straight to the accusation question and see what happens. Let's just ask him. Like, Jerry, be honest. Who killed her? I know where this is going. Regardless of what you believe I did, Chief, you got nothing on me because I didn't kill nobody. You didn't answer the question, though, but who did? Let's talk about the burglar. Let's talk about what you saw, what happened, how you got in, and everything that you know happened. I don't get what all the fuss is about. Ain't like I got that much out of it. Why did you choose this specific house? Where were you when were you aware there were people inside? What did you take? At what point did you run away? Why did he choose the specific house? There wasn't anything special about it. It had the fire escape ladder, the open window, and no lights on. So he chose the house thinking that nobody was home. That's what it seems like to me. He thought nobody was home. Were the lights on or off? We already know that the lights were off. What did you use to break the window? It was open window, so he didn't use anything to break the window. So was it the fire escape ladder was already down? Yeah, it was. Do I look like a circus acrobat to you? I don't know. Let's go ahead and change the subject. Let's go back to what did you take? At what point did you run away? Why did you choose this house? We already did. So at what point did he run away? As soon as I figured out they were home, I jumped back out and down the fire escape ladder. I wasn't inside for more than, I don't know, 5 minutes. So once he did, so he originally went in there not knowing that there was anybody in there. He went in there thinking that it was empty. So when he found out that there was somebody in there, he ran away. According to him, anyways. According to him, that's what he did. So what did you take? First thing I could lay my hands on, threw it in the bag. Didn't notice until later I had a couple of small bushes or trees or something. I'll give you one if you can wrap this up. Small bushes or trees? Like a little bonsai tree or something? Like the little tiny tree bushes things. Interesting. Let's change the subject. Don't really have anything else to talk to him about. Let's talk about yourself, Mr. Cox. Let's get this over with. Call me Munch. I'm going to call you Jerry. Are you from the city? Where do you work? Should we notify them of your arrest? Do you have any friends or family? This is not your first crime, is it? It's not the first time you're being interrogated, is it, Jerry? Why, you want to send me to prison for the old ones again? Maybe. Maybe I do. You've already been convicted once and did your time. Why do it again? Are you or have you been part of any criminal group or gang? This is why you should have stayed in school, Munch. That's why you should have stayed in school. What made you turn to crime? What made you turn to crime, Munch? What you want, Chief? A sob story? It's pretty easy. I wanted to eat and didn't have food. Others had food or TVs that I could sell for food. Interesting. So you've already been convicted once. Why do it again? So a shining knight like yourself can put me back in. So he's a little arrogant, right? He's a little arrogant. He's got an attitude. Right, Michelle's right. He's got an attitude problem. He's a little arrogant. Like he's not doing anything wrong. He doesn't really care about what's going on. But at the same time, he's doesn't seem aggressive in any way, right? He doesn't seem like the type of person to, I don't know, kill somebody, I guess. I don't know. So repeat offenders are punished harder. You'll be in and out. You'll be in a lot of trouble if you don't work with me. I understand your difficulties, but a woman was murdered this time. Help me get to the bottom of it. Look, let's see if we can actually kind of connect with Jerry a little bit. Like I understand, but person died this time. See if we can give us a little bit of help out. I'll help you. I didn't do it. Case closed. No, that's false. The case isn't closed. You know, let's go ahead and talk to Daryl. Let's see what Daryl has to say about anything. Because Munch isn't giving us much of anything. Let's talk a bit about yourself. I have some questions about your wife. Where were you and your wife doing that night before it all happened? I would like to know some details about the incident's timeline. Let's talk about Daryl first. Let's what is what is Daryl like? I don't know if this is the best time to get acquainted, but ask away. Okay. It's okay. Let's just have some small talk between me and Daryl. First few hours must be hard. How are you handling the loss? What you went through can be very traumatic. Do you have any family who can help you get through these tough times? Have you taken leave from work to deal with any of this? So you would think that somebody had, oh, he just doesn't care. He just shrugged it away. He's like, we have to move on, don't we? Like, no big deal. My wife's dead now. I just got to move on. No big deal. It's really messed up. It's like he doesn't care at all. We are doing the best we can to make sure that the culprit will be behind bars, but I need your help to do that. My reports say that you were surprisingly calm when the police found you. Do you care that little about your wife's death? So, look, Daryl, we need your help so we can make sure we get the person behind bars. It's good to hear. Thank you. I hope I can help. Oh, the pupil dilation got a little bit bigger, I noticed there. Okay. As I said, loss is difficult. Let me know if you start feeling bad. What you went through can be very traumatic. Do you have any friends or family? Have you taken any leave? So, let's ask him that about the friends and family. Not really. My folks died a long time ago, and I can't say I'm close to any of my other relatives. Well, you do seem like a tough guy. It will not be easy, but I think you will be fine in the end. It will be tough. I hope you can find a shoulder to cry on. Look, he seems like a tough guy, right? See if we can get him to trust us a little bit more. Yes, I hope so too. Will you approach any friends for help? Do you plan on joining a support group? Do you plan on joining a support group? The neighborhood watch is the only group I plan on joining, making sure I put that gun of mine to some good use. What gun? The only person that we thought had a gun was Jerry, right? That was the only person that we thought had a gun. And now Daryl says he has a gun? Huh. Interesting. And there was a gun found. I wonder if I can ask him about the gun. So there's information right there. So from what you're saying, it seems like you believe very strongly in justice. Let's see if there's any questions about a gun. No, there's not. Let's go ahead and do that. From what you're saying, it seems like you believe very strongly in justice. See where that goes. Yes, I believe this world we live in needs a bit of a change. The evidence we have, the evidence we have now is not enough for a conviction. I am telling you this so that you can understand why it is very important that you collaborate. We will put the killer behind bars. You can trust me. Look, I think I should continue building on my trust with Daryl because it seems like that's working. We're starting to get a little bit more information out of him, a little bit more personal information. So let's go ahead and do that. Look, you can trust me. Yeah, look, his pupils dilated a little bit more. I do hope so. Okay, okay. I would like to talk more about your belief in justice. Have you taken any leave from work? Let's go ahead and change the subject. Oh, there it is. A good question about the gun. You said you own a gun, or you are not registered as a gun owner. The state's legislation doesn't say I need to register. I bought it at a gun fair anyway. What about it? Why did you not report this sooner? It's quite dubious you would hide such a thing. Why didn't you try to use the gun in self? Oh yeah, why didn't you try to use the gun in self-defense if you had the gun? You know, the apparently he claims that Jerry had a gun. And then we can ask Jerry about his gun and that we found a gun and yada yada. And we'll see what Jerry has to say about that. I'm guessing Jerry doesn't have a gun because he doesn't do anything violent. He has no previous record of violence or anything. So I couldn't reach it in time. I was even waiting for an opportunity to test my aim on filth like that. See, now a normal person doesn't just say a normal person doesn't just say that. I was waiting for a time to test my aim on filth like that. That's not a normal thing to say. I'm starting to get more suspicious about Daryl than I am Jerry now. Like Jerry, yeah, he'll probably, he'll probably get some time for burglarizing the premises, the house or the apartment, but he's not going to be convicted of homicide. Thanuccia, this guy is definitely the one who killed his wife. I'm starting to think that as well. I think so too. I think he killed his wife and then is trying to pin the murder on the burglar. Like it's just like one of those like perfect moments for him to be able to get rid of his wife. And it's really kind of messed up. So you were prepared for such events. Of course I was. The way things are going in a city, everyone should be prepared. You're an officer, you know how dangerous the streets have become with all the crackheads, the crazy hobos. You need to be ready. Interesting. I understand your concerns, but most people don't have the stomach to shoot, even in self-defense. Do you think you would have been able to do it? Most people don't wish they had an opportunity to test their aim on human beings, Peterson. What if you killed the burglar? Both decent questions. I wonder which one to do. If I talk to him, if I mention about how most people don't have the stomach to do it, and he goes on his rant about how he could do it at a moment's notice, I think that's really damning for him. Like I think that's really points, raises some red flags and really kind of points fingers at him and what he could have possibly done to his wife. But if I also say most people don't wish they had an opportunity to test their aim, and he goes on a rant talking about like I wish I did, then it kind of also points fingers as well. So, but I think the first one, I understand your concerns one is going to be a better one. Kind of gives us a little bit of a little bit more pupil dilation. He's starting to trust us a little bit more. Yes, when the system doesn't protect you, you have to do it yourself. If we had an armed neighborhood watch, filth like that burglar wouldn't have dared to step on our streets. Interesting. Why do you not report this sooner? It's quite dubious that you would hide such. So we're talking about the gun again. So let's go back. Other questions. Quite harsh views you have, Mr. Peterson. Do you really think the burglar deserves to die? That's a good question. Hell yes, with some people, there's no alternative. You have to take things into your own hands and get tough. Only way this world will ever be a better place is if honest people stand up with force if necessary. Vigilante justice, you think that's the solution? There's so much, he loves that word filth. There's so much filth out there, and the system has The system that's supposed to clean it is just as dirty. If honest people like you and me don't take action, the filth will drown us all. It is the only solution. So he really is starting to trust me. It seems like he's really, really starting to trust me. He says, if honest people like you and I, like you and me, like he's really starting to. Just you and me, that won't change much, do you think? Just us? I don't think it's going to change much. There's many of us out there who think like this. We found each other online, like-minded people willing to take up the responsibility to do the right thing. So it's a group of people online. What are you talking about? Political platform. No, no politics in this or in is their game. No politics is their game. We if we play by their rules, we lose because it's rigged game. We need to short circuit the whole system, shake up the entire establishment. It takes a coordinated effort, though. How will that happen? There's this group I was talking about. We mostly meet online, forums, boards, chat rooms. It's a great tool to organize ourselves, plan things out. What sorts of plans are you talking about? I don't know for sure. I don't have the rights to the chat room where things are organized, but it will certainly be big. I wonder if this is starting to get into something else. We're investigating a murder, but we're about to start investigating in something much bigger, I think. So why don't you have access to the chat room then? You need to show some commitment beforehand and to be part of a group for a while. I asked for access. I'm sure I'll get it soon. Need to show some sort of commitment, like killing your own wife commitment there, Daryl? Who has access? The chat rooms are anonymous. Of course, we know each other by our IDs, mostly veterans, people who have been involved for a long time. They assign a mentor to new people. Mine is Horn Bunny 49. So the name I know. So what needs to be discussed in such secrecy? I don't know for sure, but it's the place where they assign actual tasks and set up meetings. Things are picking up recently. It's all very exciting to be part of the Liberation Front. So they're starting to form their own little coup or something. The Liberation Front, that's the group's name. No one voted on it or anything. It's just what we call it. All right, look, I've heard enough. So who has access? I think we already did that. Yeah, we already did the who had access stuff. Let's go back to talking about yourself. Let's talk about Daryl. Or did we already do that? We already talked about Daryl, I think. Yeah, we already talked about Daryl. Let's ask him about his wife. Maybe there's some things that we can ask him about his wife. It's hard to talk about her, but if you think it'll help. It's hard to talk about her. Is that because she just recently died, and so that's why it's hard to talk about her? I'm not sure. Is he actually feeling some type of emotion now? Does she get along with her colleagues at work? Any neighbors she wasn't on good terms with? How are things in your marriage? How was your marriage, Daryl? We've been married for almost 7 years now. Had its ups and downs, as you would expect. Do you have any children? No children are a waste of time, don't you think? Not really. Okay, so let's go back. Do you think anyone would hate her enough to plan on marrying her? Can't imagine myself ever getting married. What did your wife think about these online friends of yours? Oh, is that a good question? Did she know about it? She did not approve. It gave her another reason to criticize me, all those arguments. To criticize you. Interesting. Let's talk more about the marriage. I'd rather not, but I do not think I have a choice. No, I don't think you do, Daryl. Danucci is really disliking this guy. I'm right there with you. Compare the timelines. Oh, compare the timelines, but I see it. Yeah, we'll probably talk with him about his timelines, but I'm curious as how his relationship with his wife is. Like, if it was like a really bad relationship with his wife, then it might even it might even be more damning for him. He might even start talking about how he killed his wife. It might really point things out. So I understand that you and your wife had frequent disagreements. Yes, many fights started with her criticizing me, especially about not having a job. She blamed me for it constantly, as if the current state of the job market did not matter one bit. So they constantly argue. You already know that he's quick with the finger on the trigger. Like he has no problem pulling a trigger on anybody, according to his statements already. Let's see if there's any other details you may have left out. We just fought a lot. Nothing special, really. I do not understand why you keep asking me about this. There's a reason for it. Let's go ahead and work on the timeline if I can find it. Let's change the topic. So you and your wife argued often, and she blamed you for getting fired. Maybe we should just carry on with that. Timeline. I would like to discuss some details with the incident's timeline. What do you want to know? When and where did you first see him? Did you hear the burglar coming into the house? Where were you and your wife when you first saw him? At one point, did the burglar pull out the gun? Did you provoke him in any way, threaten him somehow? Why did he tie you down? Did he also wanted to tie down your wife? I wonder when they first saw the burglar. So when and where did you first see him? When he entered the living room. So where were you and your wife when you first saw him? In the living room, it was relevant. Is this relevant to the investigation? Of course, it's everything I'm asking you, Daryl, is relevant to the investigation. Don't you worry about that. So at what point did he point the gun at you? He had his gun out when he burst in. Interesting. How did you react when you saw the gun? I put my hands up, of course. I told him that he could take whatever he wanted as long as he did not hurt us. Interesting. So before we talk to before we talk to before we really accuse him, let's talk to Jerry about this new information that we found. We're going to change the subject. So have you ever heard of the Liberation Front? That a gang or something? No, never heard of them. Must be new. Okay. So let's talk about the murder of Mrs. Peters. So it says something about him having a gun. So the gun that the gun that shot Mrs. Peters was found near the fire escape ladder that you used. Someone must have dropped it or something. I told you I know nothing about the murder. How can I know that the gun is not yours? Have you ever owned a gun? You say the weapon isn't yours, yet you were the only one at the scene. That doesn't add up. Ask anyone, go search my house, do whatever you want. I never had a gun. I don't even know how to operate one. I don't even know how to use one. Anyone could have dropped it there. I really don't think it's Jerry now. I don't think Jerry killed the wife. I really think that it's Daryl. So we're gonna just keep pressing Daryl. So let's go ahead and do the accusation. Let's go ahead and try it. Daryl, honestly, who killed your wife? Who did it? What are you insinuating? That I killed her to try to put me behind bars just because I said I believe scum like the burglar should stop walking this planet? How did you jump from that to killing my own wife? Maybe we ask him again. Like, we know you did it. He's not answering. Should I? Ooh. Should I should I go off record with him? Should I turn the recorder off and push him up against the wall? Slap him around a little bit. Hmm. Yeah, let's see if we can find out how he got tied up. Incident, was it in the incident's timeline? Oh, here's a new one though. Munch claims he did not he does not own a gun and there is no evidence tying one to him. Was clearly lying, or perhaps he stole mine. I keep it in the bedroom. He couldn't have stole yours because he went into the living room and he never went into the bedroom. So that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. What did I just click on? Let's talk about more about your gun. No, I don't think there's anything there. Is it under the timelines about how he got tied up? How did he tie you down? There you go. I guess he was scared I would try to fight him off. So that's why he tied him down. Hmm. I don't know. Let's see if we can talk to Jerry about anything. I don't know. There's nothing there to really talk to Jerry about. I'm not going to accuse Jerry of doing it. Definitely going to accuse Daryl of it. So how common were your arguments? It came to a point that we couldn't even be in the same room without fighting. Even tonight, she even started one tonight over some stupid stain on my shirt. Must have been so frustrating for you. Her constant pestering. Oh, now we're starting to really get on. We're actually at this point in time we're starting to like really kind of like buddy buddy with him. Like, yeah, that constant pestering of your wife. Yes, I guess it was. I just had enough, you know. You've been with someone for 7 years. You'd expect some respect by that point, some consideration. But no, she could have. She could be such a shrew sometimes. I'm telling you. So is this why you seem so composed about the situation? You actually hated her. I did, yes. I'm not happy she died, but I can't help but feel relief that she won't be blaming me for all the things that went wrong again. Let's see if we can get him to confess now. So, like, clear. Come on, Daryl. You know who did it. They state their voice shakedly. Oh, what do you mean? That damn burglar. Who do you think killed her? Oh, so right there they state their voice shaky. So that he's starting to get nervous. He's starting to worry about it. We're starting to figure it out. To me, it's clear you have no love for your wife. You resented her. I would go so far as to say you hate her. He did say he hated her. I did hate her. Yes, I hated her arrogance. I hated her friends. I hated her fucking bonsai trees. Oh, the bonsai trees. Bonsai trees that Jerry was able to steal. I hated the disrespect she had for me, but that doesn't mean I would ever hurt her. And even more, that night you had an argument and you also saw a huge opportunity to blame the murder on the burglar you spotted coming in. Is that right? Is that right? The blabber. They blabber. How I mean, oh, we're figuring it out. You've made it quite clear you see violence as a solution, Peterson. You talk with your friends online about it. You had the means and the motive to do it. If you believe in justice, as you say, confess. Ooh. Listen, Peterson, I have you on the record saying that you hated your wife and that you planned dangerous activities online. If you don't confess, I'll make sure you are convicted for terrorist intent and you rot in prison for the rest of your miserable life. Oh, so we're getting ready to accuse him. We're getting ready to actually give him a deal to confess. Now, do we want to threaten him with the terroristic, the terroristic plot and put him away, threaten to put him away in jail for that if he doesn't confess? Or do we want to try to be on his good side and be like, look, if you believe in justice so much, then you should confess. I think personally, I think we should threaten him. He deserves to get threatened, right? So I think we should threaten him that we're gonna convict him for terrorist intent if he doesn't confess. I think that'll get him to talk because he's already nervous. He's already blabbering. He's already shaky in his voice. Michelle, Michelle wants us to rough him up. The only thing is, I'm kind of worried about roughing him up only because we're so close to getting a confession that if I go to rough him up and something happens and he gets off because there's a time lapse in the recording. I mean, we're really close to getting him to confess. I think I'm just gonna threaten that we're gonna convict him of terrorist intent. See what happens. A deep sadness engulfs his cracking voice. Is that your idea of justice? I admit I killed her. She had it coming, as do many others, such as you, and the corrupt system that puts people like you in position of power. Your time will come. Oh, we got him to confess. We finally did it. We did it. So let's go ahead and report the findings. We got the dirt bag to confess. This filth. We got that filth to confess. We did it. Interrogation successful. With the confession secured, Daryl Peterson will be going to jail for a long time. What is the Liberation Front business, though? So I think that is going to go on to say, like, what is the Liberation Front business? We're going to start investigating into the Liberation Front business, I bet. I'm almost certain we are. Let's see what this little recording thing is. What is this? Oh, so this is the timeline that we did our interrogations where we were talking with Jerry, then we went to talking with Daryl. Kind of went back to Jerry for a quick second, and then so that's our entire investigation right there. Perfect. All right, let's continue. There we go. Look at that. Good work in there. I have something important I need to discuss with you. But before that, I need you to finish up the press release we're putting out about the case. Help them word it. Okay. Then come see me. Okay. The investigation involving the murder of Heather Peterson was concluded today, which resulted in the arrest of Daryl Peterson, 41, and Jerry Cox, 26. All evidence pertaining to the case has been directed to the relevant authorities with the full cooperation and counsel of the STPD prosecutor counselor. They will be treated following judicial procedure, and their cases will be taken to the criminal court. The criminals have been incarcerated. And their cases will be taken to the criminal court. Let's do that. The damn criminals. The criminal crime is the criminals has been incarcerated. Perfect. Daryl Peterson, not initially a suspect, confessed to the murder during questioning. The main suspect. So, the victim's husband. Interesting. Not initially a suspect. The main suspect. The victim's husband. Why aren't we hearing any sound effects? Oh, we have the audio volume turned all the way down. Oh, that's why. Somehow we turned the audio volume all the way down. Let's get that back up. That way we can at least hear the sound effects, right? So I feel like there should be like a typewriter. Yeah, there we go. That sounds better. So Daryl Peterson, not initially a suspect. The main suspect, the victim's husband. So Daryl Peterson, the victim's husband, confessed to the murder during questioning. Although he initially attempted to hide his involvement by staging a violent robbery, evidence found at the scene contradicted parts of the description of the event. The police will be advancing charges of voluntary manslaughter, first-degree murder. We're going to go first-degree murder on that. Yeah, let's go first-degree murder, because it wasn't manslaughter. Go first-degree murder. Because that's exactly what it was, Daryl Peterson. Jam murdering his own wife. Due to the confession, the manslaughter charges against Jerry Cox have been dropped, and he will only face prosecution for breaking and entering and theft. His involvement in creating the circumstances for the murder to happen will be investigated further. His involvement in creating the circumstances for the murder to happen. That's not his fault. Evidence suggests he had no violent intent and no connection to the murder. I think that's better. I think it's better for Jerry. Like, look, yeah, he did wrong. He broke into the person's house. He stole a couple bonsai trees, but he had no connection to the violent activity of the husband. He had no involvement in any of the murdering or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and complete it there. For immediate release, contact Chief of Investigations, phone 555-0149. Let's go ahead and continue. Pick an old memory. Pick an old memory. What are these memories? Speed Demon. You have more time to interrogate, but cannot access files during or before interrogations. Oh, so we can't access files before or during or before interrogations. I don't think that's good. I think there's a lot of information in files that we can get, so I don't think we want to do that. Profiler. Reading reactions and emotion states in a science. Reading reactions and emotional states is a science for you. You have an exact evaluation in numbers of how fearful and empathetic the subjects are. The pupil dilated satisfaction. Okay. Let's see what these other ones are. Scholar of ideology. You have keenly studied extremist ideology and may use the knowledge when talking to people with radical convictions. In the end, we will strike back against ourselves. Huh. Intimidating presence. You have mastered the use of threats and silence to cow your subjects. A dog that barks is a dog insufficiently boiled. Chinese saying. That's terrible. Dog that barks is a dog insufficiently boiled. That is terrible. But intimidating presence, that might be good. We can threaten them to get them to want to confess. That might be a good little perk. A known pacifist. You always follow procedure and are known for it. Subjects have more empathy towards you, but you have trouble frightening them and cannot use enhanced interrogation. So if we do a known pacifist, then we don't have the opportunity, we don't have the capability of stopping the recording and then potentially beating down somebody to get a confession. So I don't know if that one's good. I think intimidating presence is probably a good one because it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to stop it doesn't mean that we have to stop the recording and beat them down, but we could potentially use our words and threaten them, right? We can say, hey, look, you're going to go to jail for a long time unless you confess. And they might confess just because of what we're saying. So I think this is good for two ways. I think it's good for going off record, and I think it's good for anything that we want to say to them on record. So I think it'll be fine. I think we're going to go ahead and select the memory intimidating presence. I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good for all of us. Lexa, hello. Hello, Maribel. Welcome. Chief Anderson, the Liberation Front business you got out of Peterson, it seems to be pretty serious stuff. So it's real, I guess. They've been claiming more and more hits and seem to be behind things like assaults on politicians. They appear to be expanding their operation chiefly in our city. So I've talked it over with the powers that be, and we've decided you're the best person for the job. Of course I am. Of course the Jam Genius is the best person for the job. You'll be heading up a small unit to combat these guys. We're pulling some of the best people from the other departments to work with you. Perfect. Not gonna lie, this unit will mean all eyes will be on you. Try and keep everyone happy. But most importantly, stop these bastards. Rest up. See you tomorrow. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do we get to meet our partners? Congratulations on your new assignment, Detective. You're jam welcome. Thank you. Let me introduce some of the people you'll be working with. This is Tab Thompson, Analyst Extraordinaire. I look forward to addressing the threat of Liberation Front with you, Detective. I look forward to working with you, Tab. And this is Jennifer Reyes, Organized Crime Department's best. All right. Delighted, Detective. I'm delighted as well, Jennifer. Mordecai Fisher, who we pulled from Homicide, will also be helping you out in the field. Okay. I'll leave you to it. Perfect. Shall we head out and talk some shop over at Hannigan's? What is Hannigan's? Is Hannigan's like a restaurant or something? The meeting room is not being used. Yeah, but the meeting room is boring. Hannigan's sounds great. Let's go straight to our desk. Chief already assigned us new task cover. Let's go to Hannigan's. I am famished after getting Daryl to confess to murderizing his wife. We've got some live action, boss. Morty's out there with some badges grabbing our 3 suspects who that Horn Bunny might be. Oh, Horn Bunny. So Mordecai is out there getting the suspects who they think might be Mordecai. Or not Mordecai, might be Horn Bunny. I do hope Mr. Fisher practices restraint. I know him to be rather abrasive when bringing people in. I'm sure Morty means well. While the terrorists among them deserve to be abrased. Procedures important, innocent until proven guilty. Look, if you're a Jim terrorist, you might deserve to be a little abrased. I'm going to get the rooms ready. There's an update being pushed to the chat room software. It seems that the Liberation Front have found out about your move. They've triggered the relocation of passwords for the chat room. It's just a matter of minutes before the current password becomes useless. We need to acquire a new one as soon as possible. They're here. Get ready to interrogate them. We'll line up the files. Okay. So, we have files here of the 3 individuals that could be Horn Bunny. What is this? It's a pet chat room. Looks like Mistress something, Mistress Meow. You got Horn Bunny, and you got Princess, Calm Tracker, Curly, and Blaster. Interesting. Looks like a quick little snippet of that. Let's go ahead and read this. What do we have here? Incident narrative. The Liberation Front is plotting online using password-protected forums and chat rooms, their members hiding behind anonymous handles. Following Peterson's tip, we tracked down the main chat room they use, a server dedicated to pet care. We've recently seen traffic spikes to one of the special access private rooms, and we suspect something major is happening. We've managed to find a username that has the special permissions required to access most of the private chat channels in this chat room. Horn Bunny 49. Now we need the password using IP tracking. We've managed to narrow down the user ID to 3 possible individuals. None of them admit to being Horn Bunny 49, and as such, are now held for further questioning. The Liberation Front caught wind of our inquiries, initiating a mass reset of passwords and access permissions. We only have minutes to find the password that gives us access to their conversations. Okay, so we have 3 people. This is the first one, it looks like. This is Diana O'Donnell. Hair color's dusty blonde, hair length is short. Diana O'Donnell has one of the IPs that might have belonged to the Liberation Front member using the Horn Bunny 49 handle on the pet care chat room. Diana is what is called an alternative model, doing modeling work as well as the occasional acting job under the stage name Sabina Jones. She dropped out of medical school and was a nightclub entertainer in the past. Several of her known associates have been suspected of a charge with narcotic-related offenses. She hosts a blog that regularly critiques modern lifestyle trends. Okay. Oh, look at this little note on the little note on the bottom. If I can get there, we go. Tattoos: a cartoon rabbit on back, not a tramp stamp on the lower back. Not a tramp stamp on her lower back, and then there's a cartoon rabbit on the back, on her back. Horn Bunny is the username, and she has a cartoon rabbit on her back. Interesting. That could very well possibly be her. Who is this? This is Michael Lemon. Michael Lemon here. Could Michael Lemon be Horn Bunny? Michael Lemon has one of the IPs that might have belonged to the Liberation Front member using the Horn Bunny handle in the pet care chat room. Michael works as a pet stylist for a boarding kennel in a salon that he co-owns. A humanities graduate, he's aficionado of the city's underground theater scene and a card-carrying member of the Democracy Party. Interesting. But he actually, so he he might actually be trying to be part of the pet care forum because he actually works with grooming pets. So he might just be in there. I don't know. Who is this? We got Fred Enos. What are they out there doing? Paintballing. Looks like paintball. Okay. Fred Enos has one of the IPs that might have belonged to the Liberation Front member using the Horn Bunny 49 handle on the pet care chat room. Fred works as a risk analysis for a major bank. Thrice divorced, he practices airsoft and plays field tennis. Oh, so that's airsoft. Looks like paintball to me. Plays field tennis as well. He has repeatedly threatened to sue us while we were holding him for questioning. Interesting. So he's immediately going to want to sue us for questioning him. That, to me, raises red flags. And then we have little Miss Diana here with a cartoon rabbit on her back. And we're looking for somebody with the name Horn Bunny. Very interesting. So, let's go ahead and bring them in. Oh, we're talking with Diana first. Oh, we got 7 minutes. But it's not, the 7 minutes isn't really counting down. So we have 7 minutes. So is it every time we click on a question, then it might go down? Not sure. Bloody Mary, hello, welcome. Welcome, Bloody Mary. So how are you, Miss O'Donnell? Let's talk about the pet care chat room. What do you think of the Liberation Front? You have a tattoo of a rabbit. We're looking for Horn Bunny 49. Any connection? Do you know Michael Lemon or Fred Enos? Can you disprove my theory that you're involved with terrorists in any way? Oh, and then the very bottom one, what is the password to the special chat room? So let's see if we can get her to cooperate a little bit with us, try to be friendly with her. So let's talk about the pet care chat room. They state in a laid-back tone. Yes, sure. Okay. Do you have any pets? I have some questions about the conversation there. I have some questions about some of the nicknames in the chat room. Let's ask about the nicknames in the chat room. I'll do my best to remember. What nickname did you use in the chat room? Do you know Horn Bunny 49 in the chat room? So what nickname did Diana use? I'd rather not say. So she's not going to tell us. Do you know Horn Bunny 49? They begin to say something but change their mind. No. So that's not going to help us out at all. Do you have any pets? I don't actually. Then why are you part of this blog then? It's very suspicious to be in a pet care chat room without having any pets, don't you think? I think so. It's research for my blog. Your blog, yes, has very insightful stuff. I liked it. I've read your blog. You are very critical of our society, an attitude that could be Liberation Front friendly, you know. So let's play nice with her. Let's say that we really liked it, just to kind of get her to want to maybe tell us some more. Improves her mood with us. Her pupils dilated a little bit there. Thanks. Did she like that? She did like that. People should really stop reading blogs and pick up books again. You're a journalist and you were observing this group. Notice anything particular? What are you currently writing about? So what are you currently writing about? I mean, given it a lot of thought recently, but about how crazy the practice of dog breeding actually is. Okay, so we're already down 40 minutes. So you're a journalist and you were observing this group. Notice anything in particular? I wasn't observing anyone. It's just a chat room. Let's go ahead and talk about something before. I have more questions about the. Oh, man. What? I need to know what your nickname is. She's not going to tell us. Wasted so much time on that already. So you have a tattoo of a rabbit. We're looking for Horn Bunny 49. Any connection? They raise an eyebrow and narrow their lips. No connection, no. Okay. I don't know. I guess we'll ask her how she's doing. Fine, I understand you have questions about chat room. Yes, and you will answer them, or else you'll be in here all night. Lives are at stake. I need your help with some fast answers. Maybe we should have started off with this. We need your help with some fast answers. I'll do my best. Okay. We're already down to 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. Started off with 7. Do you know Michael Lemon or Fred Enos? Never heard of them. What do you think about the Liberation Front? They're inconsistent in their ideology and arguing for taking lives is never acceptable, regardless of your case. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to talk with somebody else because we're spending a lot of time on her and we're not getting anywhere with her. So how are you, Mr. Lemon? Wonderful darling. This is exactly my idea of a nice afternoon. Got the attitude scuzzball, Mr. Lemon, please. Time is of the essence. Yes, time is of the essence. Okay, I'll play nice. Okay. Let's talk about the pet care chat room. How do you think, or what do you think? Let's talk about the pet care chat room. Wonderful topic indeed. Go ahead. Let's talk about the conversation in the chat room. I have some questions about some of the other user nicknames in the chat room. Let's see. I got some questions. Gossip. I like where this is going. Do you know who Horn Bunny 49 is in the chat room? Seen them, but don't know them. What's your nickname? Fabulous, amazing princess with dollar signs. Oh, okay. So Michael Lemon is princess with dollar signs. Everyone thought I was a girl, though I never suggested it. Okay. So he claims that he's princess in the chat room. I don't know. Do you know Diana O'Donnell or Fred Enos? Maybe. It doesn't help. What do you think of the Liberation Front? I admire their fiery spirit. Can you disprove my theory that you're involved in a terrorist in any way? Where would you get that idea? Didn't really get anything from him either. So let's talk about the conversations in the chat room. There we go. Why don't you join it yourself, though, weirdo? Because I don't want to be a part of the chat room. I'm asking you. Do you have any pets of your own, or do you just want to talk about pet fashion?
My aunt has a darling chihuahua named Botox, and the chat room helps to inform my work. Tease the fate of the pet stylist. Okay. Like an animal hairdresser. Does your salon also do coat care? Like a stylist, an artiste. Hmm. Our logs show that you spend a lot of time in this chat room. Is that true? A pet is just an animal, not much to say about them. What types of discussions were there usually in the chat room? How did you get into the chat forum? So our logs show that you're in the chat room a lot. So what? Are you there to coordinate with the Liberation Freedom? Or Liberation, whatever. Liberation Front. I just made a habit of logging in. Did you? So his pupils are starting to. He's not really trusting us very much. Hmm. Let's go ahead and talk to Mr. Enos. How are you, Mr. Enos? Quite discontent with being dragged here. Excuse my colleagues if they rushed you here, but time is of the essence. Sorry to bother you, your fat ass. That's terrible. It's not as if we're trying to save lives. You know, it's not as if we're trying to save lives, Enos. Let's talk about the pet care chat room. Do you think, what do you think of the Liberation Front? You're 49, same age as my father. Do you know Diana O'Donnell or Michael Lemon? So why would we ask him if he's 49? So he's 49. So Michael Enos is 49. Horn Bunny 49. Would he be so naive to put 49 in his tag name? So you're the terrorist known as Horn Bunny 49 with your age and the name. We're back in the day, huh? So you used to be an Oak Scout. It's good. And just why would I be so stupid that if I were a terrorist under a code name, I'd put my age in the username? I don't know. Maybe you're just stupid. Let's talk about the pet care chat room. Seems how I only got 4 minutes left. Very curious to see where this is going. I have some questions about some of the nicknames in the chat room. I have some questions about the conversations there. Do you have any pets? Oh, what questions? Do you know who Horn Bunny 49 is in the chat room? What nickname do you use in the chat room? Do you know Princess in the chat room with the dollar signs for S's? What nickname do you use? They look fixedly into your eyes. Cat Lover 5. So he uses Cat Lover 5. Hmm. So something happened with our. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we got that notification out of the bottom, and I didn't see what happened. But when we clicked on what nickname he used, and he said Cat Lover 5, something pinged, and I don't know what that did for us just now. Gonna ask about the chat room, about the nicknames. Do you know Princess in the chat room with the dollar signs? Do you know who Cat Lover 5 in the chat? Do you know who Cat Lover is? Don't think so. Hmm. What? I don't want to ask it again. She's not going to tell me. I'd rather not say. Waste of time. Jam waste of time. Let's go ahead and ask Michael Lemon who he might know. Oh, that was a waste of minutes. Trying to see if he knows the usernames. Let's talk more about the pet care chat room. Do you have more questions about the nicknames in the chat room? I have some questions about the conversations there. What types of discussions were there in the chat room? How much time did you usually spend in the chat room? How did you get into the chat room? So what kind of conversations? Discuss about pets. Do you really have to make everything sound so suspicious? I'm just asking whatever crossed my mind. We're all hiding something, and it's my job to pull the truth. Look, we're all hiding something. It's my job to pull the damn truth. You're a bit too intense. Not at all. Yeah, I haven't even shown you intense yet. Wait till we go off record, Mister Whatever your name is, Horn Bunny 49. That's who I think you are. I think you're Mister Horn Bunny 49. So I think this I don't even remember what his name is. Fred. Yeah, Fred is Horn Bunny, I think. Just need to prove it. Can you disprove my theory that you're collaborating with the terrorists in any way? Do you have any evidence? Maybe. So what's the password? I need to know the password. I swore not to give it. No. Wait a second. So you do know what it is. So he knows what the password is, but he's swearing that he would never give it. Fred, the front will hurt innocent people, their pets too. You're a good guy, and I need your help. You better tell me, Fred, or I swear I'll do my best to make sure you and everything you love suffer for the rest of my days. Oh my goodness. So should we threaten him? I think we're gonna threaten him. I think I'm gonna threaten Fred. I mean, we have that perk for a reason, right? And we're not going off record, so man, I wonder what happens if I threaten him and then when we do our press release, if they say something. You know, Fred, you better jam tell me, Fred. No, please, it's just a chat room. I'll give you the password, just let me go. So we got it. We got the password. Interesting. And we didn't even have to rough him up. All we did was give him one little threat. And we did it in record time. We had 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to spare. Welcome, Horn Bunny 40. So Fred was Horn Bunny 49. Or at least he just knew the password. Interrogation successful, we're in. Now we can try to delicately draw out some information on the Liberation Front plans. Interesting. Let's go ahead and continue. In response to the emergence of the terrorist organization that identifies itself as the Liberation Front, the STPD assembled the blank special unit in order to counter this threat. The recent upsurge in terrorist activity. The emergence of the terrorist organization that have... Yeah, I like that one. And so in response to the emergence of the terrorist organization that identifies itself as the Liberation Front, the STPD assembled the Peace and Stability Special Unit, the Retribution and Justice Special Unit, in order to counter the threat, or the Truth and Order Special Unit. You know, we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the Truth and Order Special Unit. That just sounds, it's like a good mix between both. An intelligence gathering operation of the respective unit has led to the interview of eventual arrest of Fred Enos, a confessed sympathizer of a terrorist cell, suspected collaborator of a terrorist cell. He's definitely confessed, right? He's definitely said he was. 2 other suspects have been interviewed as part of the same investigation, but they have been released, having proven their innocence, due to lack of evidence against them. Having proven their innocence. So we're going to go due to the lack of evidence against them because they're still part of the chat group. They were still part, I think they're still part of the Liberation Front. We just didn't really have the evidence there to convict them. But they're part of this. The only one that I would say that is part of it for maybe a good reason is the well, actually no, they were both maybe part of it for their own reasons, but one of them actually was like a pet stylist, right? And it was Michael Lemon. I think he was the pet stylist. And then the other one, Diana O'Donnell, she was there basically for work, right? She was not invested. She was doing like journalistic information, trying to get some journalistic views and stuff for, I think, for work. So maybe that's what it is, due to lack of evidence against them. Along with the confession, Fred Enos interview also yielded relevant information regarding the terrorist organization, the password to a secure chat room used by the terrorist organization. Yeah, we're going to go with the password to a secure chat room used by the terrorist organization. The only thing I have against saying that, though, is that this is a press release. So what if this comes out in the press release and then they change chat rooms and then we no longer have that password again? I don't know. I'm just going to keep it with that. The officer in charge of the investigation are hopeful that this information will be useful in preventing future terrorist attacks. Perfect. Great job in there, boss. Thanks. Now that we're logged in, even for a second, we can analyze what they've been talking. At first glance, they seem to be using code words. I can set up a smart algorithm that can detect possible meanings for the contextual usage of words. Or we could simply try to figure it out directly. I don't trust algorithms, Jennifer. Look at their conversations, try to figure it out, what they're talking about. Codes may be deceiving to the naked eye. Let the algorithms do their work. Tell me what pops up. Do both. Set up the algorithms and also try to figure out things out manually. Yeah, if we had to pick one or the other, I would probably go with algorithms specifically. But if we can go both, why not just go both? Like let's look at what it is face value, and then look at it compared to the algorithms, and then compare and contrast, and then we can figure out what is actually going on. Hello, Travis. Welcome to the stream. This will mean that both of us will be busy working on this. We may have a hard time responding to other issues that pop up. Do both anyway. We'll see what bites. Fine. Forget the algorithms then. Intuition will be our weapon. Okay, let the computer do the work for them. Oh, so if they're both working on it, then we're not going to be able to use one of them for something else. So they're using code. So I think the algorithms and I think the computer will be best suited for this. So let's go ahead and do that. If we had to investigate something physical, not data related, not computer related, but if it was like something physical, maybe a person or somebody needed to go visit somebody, yeah, then we'd go hands on. But it's data related, right? These are code words. So why not let supercomputers figure this out for us? So let's just go ahead and let the computers do it. Chief Anderson. As part of leading your team, you'll have to manage budget and assign missions. For budgeting, you'll get 3,000 with each budget round. You can influence your available funds in many ways, and any sums unspent are saved for the next budget round. Okay. You can assign available agents to missions on top of their core investigations work for the team. How well they'll do is determined by how motivated they are and how much the task fits their background and expertise. I've ordered you an outsourced HR report. It's on me. It should tell you how well the agents might do on missions. Okay, that's good. If you don't buy yourself expanded HR reports in the future, you won't know what their likelihood of success will be. Maintaining all facts of the image of your team is key. You need approval or else you'll lose them. Buying expanded PR reports can help you understand what's causing the shifts in your image. All set. Sounds like a lot. How do I know what the consequences of each choice will be before I make it? Let's find out. Like, how do I know? You don't know. I'm not gonna know. It's your job to evaluate what the consequences and risks of each action and option might be, which is perfect for us because we're geniuses and we can figure anything out. We always think 10 steps ahead of any kind of decision that we have to make. Use your reason, use trial and error. Okay. But this isn't the police academy. Things are not transparent and don't have fixed and easily predictable effects. You think I had any idea hitting the redhead back in college would mean I now have to go to marriage counseling? Oh, it's terrible. Why would you do that? I had no idea. That's what real life's like. Good luck. All right. There we have it. What do we have here? To the office, and we can continue. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. All right, so we have budget allocation. We have some available funds. We have 9 different things. We have therapy. We have procedure training, informant stimulants, CO overtime, R&R team building, civil forfeiture overtime, PR assistance, order extended PR report, and order HR report. Well, he already got us an HR report, right? Pursue informer, work with the DA, buy the book, pursue chat room advertisers, volunteer in the department, formulate budget requests, track murder weapon, focus on chat room analysis, go home early. Interesting. So if we click and hold, it kind of tells us what they're really good at, which Jennifer is really good at going home early. So she can work with the DA. It's a 95%. She can also do focus on chat room analysis. So she's really good at chat room analysis. I would have thought Tab would have been chat room analysis, but I guess not. Maybe we should have. Tab's not really good at much of anything. Buy the book. Tab is good at buy the book. I don't know what buy the book is. And then we have Mordecai here. Every one of them, all 3 of them are really good at going home early, but Mordecai can track the murder weapon. He's really good at that. Interesting. What happens if we go to the office? The PR report. Popularity is in the middle. Press approval is in the middle. Authorities approval is down low. How favorable the institutions in the city judge your results and actions. What? That's rude. Why would it be down in the middle? The institutions in the city judge. So press reviews, how friendly the journalists are who write about your investigations. And popularity, how much the residents of the city trust your department to protect them. So the institutions don't really care for me too much. Let's see what our HR report is. Motivation level is very high. This is Jennifer. So motivation for Jennifer is very high. Motivation for Tab is high. And motivation for Mordecai is high. So can we zoom in? There we go. So Jennifer, observations, given the following and in integrating the agent's background, success probability have been calculated. The subject is highly motivated and focused, capable of engaging with challenging tasks. Tab is well motivated and intends to pursue tasks to the best of their ability, though fatigue may reduce efficiency. Observations. Given the following and integrating the agent's background, success probability have been calculated. Okay, so that's all the same. Oh, there's so much there about Jen, Morty, Tab. Man, may have to go through that next time. We have Liberation Front and me. How I wasn't cool enough to change the world. Strike back. Lisa Nugent. I can't say her last name. Big article here about the Liberation Front. May have to go through that in the next time as well. What is this? Operations manual. Tells us how to do things and metering devices, emotional manipulations, ethics. No problem. And that is our intimidating presence. Interesting. To the detective wall, to the briefing room. Let's go to the detective wall. Oh, so much. I mean, there's going to be so much to go through. I mean, this whole wall, I bet it's going to get filled up eventually. What is the Liberation Front? So how do they communicate? They communicate through the pet chat room. Daryl and Fred are connected? How are Daryl and Fred connected? Huh. Daryl Peterson has confessed to murdering his wife and to communicating with the Liberation Front. So that's how they're connected, I guess. Fred Enos is a confessed Liberation Front collaborator who has revealed the password to the private channel used to the organization on the pet care chat. Okay, so that's how they're connected, I guess. Interesting. As you can see, we are still very, very new into the game. Let's go to the briefing room. And we can go to continue. Okay, so a lot of information here, a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of there's so much. There's so any little thing that we do is going to affect the outcome. Before we do anything though, let's go ahead and focus on chat room analysis. Use all remaining available time on keeping the agent's eyes on the chat room discussion. Gain and share an understanding of the people there and their objectives. Rate of success is 95%. I don't know what to do yet. I'm gonna have to go through and read up about Jennifer, Mordecai, and Tab and figure out what best to do and how we need to go about all this, because it's probably going to come down to a lot of it with trial and error and figure out what works and what doesn't work. We've already got a good HR report that Chief Anderson bought for us, so we don't have to buy another one of those. I think it's important to make sure that our team has got some good rest and relaxation. So maybe we'll do that in the next one. But it seems like they're all pretty highly motivated, so we should use that motivation to try to get them to do a job, to get working on something. So, let's go ahead and have, well, see, track the murder weapon. Why are we tracking a murder weapon? We don't even know what murder weapon to track. That's the only thing. Like, pursue informer. So what murder weapon is he gonna go into the field and try to track down the origin of Peterson's weapon? So is it possible that Daryl Peterson got his weapon from somebody in the Liberation Front? That is a possibility. So maybe that would be a good idea to have Mordecai working on trying to track that murder weapon, finding out who the original owner is and figuring out if Daryl really did. But that's the thing, if Daryl really did get it from a gun show or from a fair or whatever he got it from, then it's not really going to lead us in any kind of good directions. But I feel like each one of these is probably going to be information that we can use to further the story. So we're probably going to get working on it. Let's go ahead and put Mordecai on tracking the weapon. Let's go ahead and have let's have Tab take on by the book. Make sure everything's done by the book. Write up detailed reports to do the paperwork. Get all the permits and confirmations needed. He is good at that. He is good at doing everything by the book. So if they do that, then it's going to look better maybe in the institutions and maybe look better for our journalists and stuff. So let's go ahead and have him do that. And then we have Jen here. We can have her work with the DA or focus on chat room analysis. So DA, work with the district attorney to bring charges to the animal care chat room hosts that the Liberation Front used. Have them pay damages at least for facilitating terrorist operation. Or we can have her focusing on the chat room analysis. Use all remaining available time on keeping the agent's eyes on the chat room discussion. Gain and share an understanding of the people there and their objectives. But we also have a computer that's working on that as well right this second. So let's go ahead and have her work with the DA. And we're going to go there and we're going to maybe do that. informer, stimulants. Is there a way for me to figure out which each? Yeah, therapy, procedure, training, informant, CO over time. Okay, so we can figure out each one of those to see if we want to actually use them and budget the allocations for it. As of right now, I don't think we really need to budget anything for it. Let's go ahead and hold on to our money because then it carries over into the next report. Let's go ahead and we're gonna pause. I think we're gonna pause and save. Maybe go to the main menu. Either way, we're gonna end it right here though for you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this new game, Interrogation. It's very interesting. It's very in depth. It's a lot of thinking to go involved with it. It's going to be a very interesting game, right? And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Did you guys enjoy trying to find out who the killer was, who the Liberation Front leader was, and getting that password? Hopefully you guys did. And if you did, hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. What do you think is going on in all this? It's too early to honestly tell, but you never know. You might be able to figure it out. There's going to be a lot more characters I assume is going to pop up and we're actually going to be able to interact with. There's going to be a lot more there's going to be a lot more objectives that we have to complete. There's going to be a lot more interrogations that we have to do, and we're going to do all that in the next video. I don't know if we're going to do it in the next live stream. I might actually turn this into a nice series for us as part of the channel. But who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm not sure just quite yet. But again, if you guys did enjoy that, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and join the Tethered. As always, thanks for watching. Love you all, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.